Well, hello there, everyone. This is fried rice, a flavorful, lightly oiled dish of travel, danger, adventure, and, we hope, a soupçon of humanity. We serve this to you as a gesture of welcome, for you're indeed in a foreign land. Save for the people, there is little here that will seem familiar to you. I'm sure some of you know that being alone in a foreign place can be frightening. I remember getting lost once on the streets of the sprawling metropolis of St. Ileton. I spun left and right in the hopes of seeing some kind of familiarity. But all I got were gray, soulless monoliths and dour, pitiless faces. Panic gripped me, and I felt the urge to crumple into a shaking ball right there in the concrete. Then I looked up, and between the angles of the skyscrapers I saw the sky. I remembered that it was the same sky I'd always lived under, the same sky that glowed over my hometown so many miles away, and I felt a little better. The sky is a generous comfort in any world, but for some, it's something more. It's a beacon, a calling, a summoner. It's a boundary begging to be breached, or perhaps a promise of escape from the anxieties of the ground. This is what the sky meant to Julian, a little boy with a big brain and bigger desires. His was a tale worth telling, and I call it Propeller-Head. Young Julian lived in Mainspring, a village on the side of a mountain range stretching north and south for endless leagues. The mountain was Mainspring's livelihood, for the iron it birthed was sought after by nations far and wide. The ingenious villagers developed massive devices and intricate structures to automate the mining process so they could expand their skills and invention to new and exciting industries. Our Julian, who had grown up in Skaltz's exciting world of cogs, cranks, and clockwork, was perhaps the brightest 12-year-old in all the town. For better or for worse.
Please, Julian, promise me you'll be good today.
Of course, Mother. You know I don't like to cause trouble.
I know that. What I mean is, please don't give Mr. Sneville any more of your opinions. It embarrasses him.
Mother, I learned everything he's taught this year from the books in Father's library years ago.
Yes, but Julian, you know that not all of your classmates have the benefit of a father like yours.
True, Mother. Father was always a talented engineer, and I'm indeed fortunate for that. But even so, I can't help but feel that Mr. Sneville aims to hold us back deliberately.
Truly, son, you are a marvel among marvels.
Are you all listening? We're almost at the good part. Now, once everything is dry, you're going to thread some string through that hole you drilled in the carriage bolt. About 3 feet should be good. Then, you're going to turn the propeller again and again until the string's all wound up. You see? Then, all you have to do is grab the loose end of the string and pull it. But pull it gently. If you pull it too hard, the propeller's going to push down instead of up, and then you're going to have problems. Julian, I'm sorry, is there something out the window that's more exciting than this?
Why, yes, Mr. Sneville, as a matter of fact.
Oh, like what, Preco?
Like the clouds, the geese, the mysteries over the mountains, the fighter planes encroaching from Binnacle. For the life of me, I'll ever understand why you insist on keeping us trapped in here, where the real lessons are up there.
Well, Julian, the fact is that you can't go up there until you've done some learning here. Maybe if you pay attention, you'll have a better shot at that.
Learning, Mr. Sneville? What about exactly? In constructing this child's propeller, you failed to properly explain the concepts of P-factor, the stall phenomenon, or the angle of attack. In fact, with regards to the blade angle, you told us to just twist them a little and see what happens.
The idea, Julian, is to encourage experimentation. I want you all to play around with it so you can recognize the effects of various pitches.
And that's another thing. You keep calling it pitch, which is clearly different from the blade angle.
Engineers often use the two times interchangeably, Julian.
Well, I'd like to think that precision is a priority in education, Mr. Sneville.
Well, would you like to come up here and demonstrate your skills in education?
I'd be glad to. Course, gross manual adjustment is no substitute for fine premeditated calculation. You might as well eyeball the dilution of nitric acid. Now, I've indulged Mr. Sneville in constructing this basic propeller toy, but I will show you how careful consideration of airflow and chord angle can create something special.
Whoa, Julian, you can't launch that in here. You're gonna hit someone or it'll go flying up into the ductwork. Just start.
Contact.
But Julian's toy propeller didn't hit anyone, nor did it get stuck in the ductwork at the height of the shop. It flew up and out and twirled around the room, circled back, and returned to Julian's hand like a trained falcon. The boy held up his creation like a trophy and gave Mr. Sneville a proud, victorious grin.
Oh, look at that. You know, that oh-so-Julian smile on your face again. Had Dick and Chatty the day at school?
I think satisfying would be the best word for it, Mother.
I'm watching you, Julian. Eat your carrots now.
Yes, of course, Mother. Say, would it be all right if I went to Father's workshop tonight?
Have you finished your homework?
Weeks ago. By the end of the year, I'll be 2 grades ahead.
Well then, you may. But don't stay up there too late. Good grades or no, bedtime is still 9 o'clock.
Mother, couldn't I get an extension just for tonight? I'm on the verge of completing a very important project.
I said no, Julian. Every time you get to tinkering with your father's things, you get lost for hours, and I have to drag you back to bed. Now eat your carrots, or you'll just have less time to spend out there.
What do you think Father's doing right now?
Hopefully eating his dinner. He's a lot like you know. Always putting off his meal so he can go play with his engines.
Oh, Mother, that's not what I meant. And then, what do you think Father's doing for the war?
Probably designing new planes, like always. News just keeps coming about the strange new crafts that Vinicle's making. I can only hope that our Hungle Air Force can keep up.
I'd like to see those crafts. Just once.
No, Julian. With the grace of God, I hope you never see them.
Julian's mother had good reason for saying this. Their country had been at war with the eastern nation of Vinicle for 2 years now. While Mainspring's great mountain made a fine bulwark on land, the town was still quite vulnerable to the fighting aircraft that were being deployed for the first time in the world's history. Julian's father, a great engineer, had been conscripted to counter this threat, and he had not been home to see his family since the war began. It was a lonely time for Julian and his mother, and Julian took solace in his father's workshop. Little more than a garage, separate from the house proper, the place was full to bursting with the old levers, pistons, camshafts, hoses, spark plugs, and manifolds that Julian's father had collected throughout his life. On this night, Julian was working on something very special, something he desperately wanted to finish.
Come on! Oh, for hell's sake, why would you hold steady?
Julian, it's 9 o'clock.
I'm aware of the time, Mother.
Then you'd better come in with me, my treasure. It's time for bed.
Mother, I told you I was close to completing a vital project over dinner.
And I told you that I don't care. You have to go to school in the morning and you need your sleep. Now come on!
But all I have left is this blasted thrust lever. One of the switches isn't actuated for some reason. I think I just need a different sized bolt, and that will be it.
Julian, I'm not going to argue with you. You better decide right now, and there will be serious trouble.
Oh, what ho? Threats of violence? Is that what you're reduced to now?
Oh, stop exaggerating. You just try to deflate me.
No, I'm trying to get my work done, and you're stifling me.
Julian, don't try to play me the way you've played your teachers. It's time you learned that deadlines matter.
You mean it's time I learned that authorities matter? Well, this matters more. I am not coming in until I'm finished.
If it's not, I'll try to prepare you for something. Prepare you for life. Now you listen to me, or else...
You know, Mother, your verbal resemblance to Mr. Snebble is uncanny. This is why the brilliant languish and the ignorant flourish.
Don't you ever condescend to me like that. You understand?
Oh, too well.
That was when Julian ran like a scolded mongrel, back to the house and under his bed covers. His mother was left to the guilt and horror of her actions, having struck her own son for his disrespect. Sleep didn't find her that night, as she had no one to express her pain to. The only man in whom she could confide was leagues away, God knows where, doing God knows what. She decided that she must explain herself to her son, and that's precisely what she tried as she walked into school the next morning.
Why are you carrying so many bags this morning, Julian?
A school project, Mother. I decided to bring some parts from Father's workshop.
I see. Listen, Julian. You understand that I love you, don't you?
I'm not sure that love is something that can be understood, Mother.
Well, I think that you understand that I love you. A single incident, like the one we experienced last night, it could never be enough to damage the love that I have for you. Love, however, is not the same as respect. It doesn't matter that I'm your mother. What matters is that you show me the same respect that I've always shown you. You understand that, right?
I suppose I would, if you respected what was important to me.
Oh, Julian.
Well, here we are. Class awaits. Have a good day, Mother.
Very well. Yes, Julian. You have a good day as well. I love you, son.
I will have a good day. You can be sure of that, Mother. Goodbye.
Do you remember those propellers that Mr. Snebble had taught his class to construct? Well, today, Snebble's class was in the courtyard outside the metal shop, playing with those educational, rudimentary creations.
Hey, look at that. Good one. Very impressive stuff.
It was a wholesome scene, full of joy and wonderment, but our Julian was determined to send the rest of his class upstage.
Oh, for crying out loud, there he goes again. Come on now, Julian. What are you doing over there?
Mr. Snebble? Class? I think you'd do well to drop those silly contraptions that you've been pawing at. I'd like you all to recognize what serious aeronautic study can actually reap for you.
Julian, why you gotta do this? And what in the world is that getup you have on?
This getup is the evolutionary conclusion of your toys, Mr. Snebble. You are looking at the world's first fully functional, engine-powered propeller beanie.
It was an iron cap hammered to fit Julian's skull, strapped tightly under his chin, hosed to a cylinder of liquid oxygen, and cabled to a handheld thrust lever. This one-man construct was light years beyond anything that the geniuses of Mainspring had ever produced, and the children assembled in the schoolyard could barely express themselves vocally for all their amazement.
Today, dear classmates, you shall bear witness as I slip these surly bounds of earth and touch the heavens as so many have dreamed before me. Let this serve as the first blow struck against those who would quash your dreams.
And with that, our Julian yanked a pull handle from the base of the fuel tank, and two blades extended from the pole that poked from his cap. Those blades began to spin faster and faster until they whirled into a blur. Their motion sent dust and debris blasting everywhere, and then, to the shock of the crowd, Julian's feet lifted from the ground, and his short, skinny frame went up with them. The beanie was working. The boy was flying.
Good God. Julian, you come down from there right now. What am I supposed to tell your mother?
You can tell her, Mr. Snubble, that this is exactly what her arbitrary bedtime continually obstructs.
Yes, it was a moment of vindication for our Julian, as not only was he able to demonstrate the rewards of his individualistic intelligence, but he could also indulge in the symbolic freedom that only the infinite sky could provide.
Farewell to you all! Farewell to the earthbound!
This was it. Total abandon, scorn to authority, the promise of the skies. The sensation was overwhelming. Julian knew it wouldn't last, of course. This was a mere demonstration of his talent, a showing up to those who would restrain him. He would have to return to Earth soon enough and face whatever consequences awaited him. But until then, he planned on enjoying himself. He pushed the thrust lever forward and the propeller spun up, lifting him higher and higher until the calls of his classmates and the appeals of Mr. Snubble faded away, and the entirety of Mainspring was visible under his feet.
This is unbelievable!
Oh, and it was. The freedom, the motion, the inviting clouds above, the shrinking world below. It was intoxicating. Julian tilted. Julian swooped. He drew graceful, swirling patterns in the sky. He felt the air blast against his face, and it stung a little.
I should make a note to bring a lined flight helmet and goggles on my next trip. I wonder if the local hatter even makes them in my size.
Impossible sight surrounded him. His vision was no longer limited to the low angle of a child. Now he could see everything. Everything. Forever. He saw the roofs of Mainspring arranged on the mountain just as he'd seen them on maps. He saw great forests on the eastern edge of the range, sprouting like little bushes. He saw rivers and roads snaking across the land and stretching to hamlets and castles he'd never been to before. Perhaps he would finally be able to visit them soon. He supposed that his mother wouldn't like that. But would she really be able to stop him?
Of course not. Not anymore. Look at this. You've done it, Julian. You found where you belong. You don't need those people down there. You don't need any of them. Just look at where you are now. The boundless frontier. The holy magnificence. They tried to keep you from it, they did. Mother, Mr. Snubble, even God himself. But you made it. You made it anyway. And now you can make it yours. What is this? Oh, wow!
To Julian's right, and only slightly above him, a flock of geese was making its migration. The idea of seeing these creatures up close was irresistible to the boy, so he pushed the thrust lever up and shifted his weight so he could approach him for a better look.
Well, hello there, my friends. I suppose you think you've enjoyed an exclusive privilege in being allowed up here all these years. Well, I'm sorry to inform you that it's time you made room for newcomers.
Now, you should know that these aren't the geese you might be used to. These were large, proud birds whose wings stretched wider than the height of 2 men. Their eyes were sharp and their talons sharper. And you should take me at my word when I say that they were heartily pleased at this noisy little beast who was intruding on their formation.
Hey, back off, blasted buzzards! I'm not your enemy.
But the geese had no interest in Julian's entreaties. They turned on the boy savagely and attacked him as they would any predator. Each goose approached in its own circling path and slashed at him with its claws and snapped at him with its beak. In this furious storm of slashes and snaps, Julian's face was cut. Once, twice, and again. And he dropped the thrust lever to guard himself.
All right, fine. I'm leaving already.
Julian shifted his weight leftward and pulled away from the angry flock. One goose took a final snap at him, tugging at something on his back, but then they lost interest in him and went right back to their rigid formation and resumed their instinctual travels.
Good Lord! I never would have presumed that those things could be so awful. They always seem so gentle from the ground. Speaking of that, maybe it's time I turned back and... Oh, dear God.
Julian realized that in dropping the thrust lever, he'd left the throttle in an advanced position. His altitude had climbed all through the attack. He looked down to see that mainspring was now just a tiny golden sparkle on a gray blanket of earth, and getting tinier all the time. Julian suddenly felt very dizzy, and it took all his effort to grab the lever that dangled at his hip.
Come on. This wasn't supposed to happen, oh dear God, this wasn't supposed to happen.
But something was wrong. When Julian pulled the thrust lever back, the propeller didn't respond. It continued its rapid spin and pulled its passenger ever higher. Julian pressed the lever forward and pulled it back a second time, but the engine responded only to the increase in throttle.
Damn it! I knew I should have replaced that bolt. I just knew it. We're not licked yet. I'll just have to go to emergency procedures.
Julian reached for a hooded switch on the side of his beanie. For emergencies only, this switch would release the blades in the rotor, clearing the way for Julian to deploy the parachute he'd strapped to his back. What? You didn't think he'd go up into the heavens without one, did you?
Well, so long, precious blades. You've served me well on this maiden voyage, but ultimately you are replaceable. At least I don't know how to angle your successors, aside from just twisting them.
But just as he was about to fix the switch, an unnerving noise caught his ear, and he looked wide-eyed to the horizon.
What in the world?
A peculiar object was approaching, and approaching quickly. Its shape and sound were familiar, as Julian had experienced their light before. And yet...
Good God. It's Venical! No.
A scout plane, sent by Venical on reconnaissance, had spotted Julian, and now was intent on figuring him out, or taking him down.
Oh! What's it doing?
Of course, Julian knew in his deepest heart what the enemy pirate was doing. It was only on the third sweep that he was ready to accept it.
Okay, let go! He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Think, Julian, think! Here we go. Please let this work.
Another flock of the temperamental waterfowl was passing near, and Julian immediately flew for it.
Hey there, pals of mine. How's it going? You know, I heard a good joke about you guys earlier. Why do geese kill more humans every year than sharks? Because it's really hard for geese to kill sharks. You know, I have a couple of racing geese for sale. You want to take a quick gander?
To nobody's surprise, the geese were instantly riled up. They broke formation and created a veritable ball of hatred about the boy, just as the scout plane made to close in.
Don't like jokes, huh? But here's something really funny.
The plane's propellers, entangled with the bodies of the giant birds, began to slow and to stutter. The pilot swung his craft aside and went into a wild, twirling dive. The geese, maddened at their deadly attacker, pursued it. Seconds later, none of them could be seen against the grays and greens of the distant earth.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I've got to get back down. Oh, God, I'm so far from mainspring now. Still, I need to release the blades and deploy the parachute. That's the only way. What is this? What is this?
Julian now saw the blood that had splattered across his clothes. Whether it belonged to the geese or to himself, he did not know, but the sight made him woozy. At the same time, he felt the piercing embrace of the troposphere as he rose ever higher.
It's so cold. It's so cold. I never thought I could be this cold. hurts. I'm so scared. So scared. Mom. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm going to fall back to you, Mom. I love you, Mom. I'm going to fall back to you.
Julian's strength left him, and he found he could no longer hold the thrust lever or even lift his arms. He slumped. The world went gray, and the boy felt that he was sinking down to a warm, welcoming place where he knew he'd be safe, even though he had never seen, heard, or touched it before. Then there was something else.
What happened?
Findlay, he's waking.
So I see.
What happened?
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Julian was lying in a utilitarian cot in a narrow white room. Sitting in a chair at the end of the cot was a thin man with hawkish eyes and short black hair. Standing beside him was an older, dignified man with wavy silver hair and a warm smile. Both of them wore pale blue uniforms, and the younger man's was neatly decorated with rows of pins and medals.
How are you feeling?
All right, I guess. Very confused.
Of course, that's understandable.
Who are you?
What do you remember?
It was very cold. Am I dead?
Oh, no, you're fine. You were very sick, and we want to be sure that you're getting better.
Acute altitude sickness.
Yes, exactly.
Did I crash somewhere?
No, we found you.
Who found me? Where is this?
Did someone send you?
No.
Findlay, could you bring in the tray?
At once, sir.
What's your name?
You first.
I understand. There's quite a lot to tell you, and to be frank, there's quite a lot to tell us. I'm sure you're quite hungry, though, so please.
Here you go, young sir.
Feel free to tuck in. It might not look familiar to you, but it's everything you need to feel better.
On the tray that had been set on Julian's lap was a rectangular dish that was divided into 5 compartments. Each compartment contained a flat slab of material, and each slab was a different color. Julian took up a fork and stabbed at the yellow, then took a reluctant bite. It tasted like carrots.
It's okay, I guess.
Happy to hear it. I am Chief Master Sergeant McCallum, and this is my assistant, Findlay.
How do you do?
And what is your name?
Julian. Julian Shear.
A pleasure to meet you then, Mr. Shear. I want you to know that Findlay and I are at your service. You may call for us day or night.
Day or night?
Findlay.
Recovery from altitude sickness requires a significant amount of rest. We also want to make sure that there are no long-term effects on someone as young as you are.
And simply, what would your recommendation for the moment be?
I think we should allow our guest some privacy so he may enjoy his meal.
Then I agree wholeheartedly. Mr. Shear, Findlay and I shall leave you to your food in bed. Do you see that little switch there on the armrest? Should you need anything, just flick that once. It will send us a signal indicating a request for aid. Do you have any questions?
Many.
I meant anything pertaining to your immediate physical needs.
Is there a
chamber part.
I was going to say a water closet.
Oh yes, of course. There's one right through that door. If you feel well enough to get out and use it, then please do. But you mustn't force it. You could always flip the switch and, Finkley will take care of it.
Indeed.
Enjoy now.
Are they sure I'm not dead?
Do you know any airmen named Shear?
Not a one, sir.
Check the rosters for similar words. The kid's smart. It might be an anagram for something.
Understood, sir.
Any news on the vehicle?
Research is still investigating, sir. They've seen nothing quite like it.
That doesn't seem possible.
This is intolerable. I can't just lie here and let these people keep secrets from me. I've got to find out where I am. The exit door won't open. No surprise there. Can't see out. There are no windows. The walls are all paneled. I can never see material like this. Bolted at the corners. Maybe there's a way.
Julian went to the water closet that McCallan had indicated and approached the toilet, but not for the reasons you might think.
Let's see what's inside the tank here.
We all know that a toilet has but one purpose, but the rods, chains, and washers that comprise it have many. When Julian set his eyes on them, he saw not parts, but possibilities.
This just might do.
Deputy Commander, we have a code grey. Repeat. Deputy Commander, we have a code grey.
What? Where is he?
Room 4. This way.
What is this? What's going on?
He was just walking down the hall, sir, like nothing was wrong. We took him immediately and held him here. He had this tool on him.
But how did he get out?
He must have used that to remove one of the wall panels. He was small enough to crawl through the gap. We found the hole he came out of. He just cut through the foam panels.
Nurse, you may go.
Yes, sir.
Young sir? Young sir, was that nurse's account correct?
More or less.
And where did you get this?
I made it.
You made it?
It's just a simple ratcheting device.
Findlay inspected the strange tool and its components. A pull rod for a handle, a washer with roughly scraped notches, a chain hook for a pawl, an overflow tube for a socket.
You built this using parts from the toilet?
I told you, it's pretty simple.
It's for your own safety, you know.
Don't patronize me.
Forgive me, young sir, but I'm not sure how else to address you. The truth is that I'm not accustomed to speaking with a child.
But you have no qualms about imprisoning me.
That is hardly the case.
Well, what else am I supposed to infer from all this? I wake up in a strange place, your boss won't tell me where I am, and I can't get out of my room unless I tunnel out. And the things I saw on the walls, I don't know what to make of them. I mean, I understand the principles of insulation and ventilation as they apply to architecture, but there are materialism there that even my father never told me about.
Your father? Who was your father?
No one, a mechanic.
Well, young sir, I assure you that no one is imprisoning you. We just felt it was best to introduce you to your situation with some care, out of concern that it would be a shock to you.
I knew it. I am dead.
That you are not, young sir. Though some would say that you have stepped into the heavens.
What?
Observe.
At the touch of a button, a set of shutters on the opposite wall rose, revealing an enormous, thick window. In streamed the glorious blue of a clear, sunny sky, and below it, a rolling, endless landscape of cumulus clouds.
Oh my God!
Julian couldn't even blink at the sight. Clouds below, clouds below. The building they stood in was in the sky.
How high up are we?
18,200 meters, young sir.
But how? How did you do this?
I fear there is no simple explanation for that, young sir. I suppose, however, I could show you around some, and you could learn about it as you go.
Yes, Fidley, please. You must.
Very well then, Julian, if you feel up to it. But I think we should put some shoes on you first.
As the tour began, Julian and his new friend passed through a series of doors and pinged to a narrow skyway, whose windows revealed the true nature of the structure. The infirmary was merely one part of an interconnected series of buildings, which hovered together in the sky as a single vicinity. Their exteriors were bone white and were occasionally difficult to discern from the clouds beneath them.
The Goethals Sky Base takes its name from General Benjamin Goethals, inventor of the world's first anti-gravity drive. It is powered by a compact fusion reactor located at its central core, which you'll see to your left.
That's brilliant. But Findlay, I must know, how is it that we can breathe so well at this altitude?
To answer that question, we must go to the Drake module. This way, Julian. The process is called electrolysis. Inside each of these cells is an electrode submerged in water. When electrical current is passed through, it separates the water into hydrogen and oxygen gases. The oxygen is collected in tanks that ventilate throughout the base, while the hydrogen is sent to the hangar to be used for fuel.
Of course, a combustible elements propel all the crafts coming and going from here. He must be incredible.
We certainly think so. In fact, we can take a skyway to the hangar right now, if you please.
Please, I'd love to.
Don't get too close to the glass, Merle.
What are those suits the airmen are wearing?
Those are to protect them from the intense winds and cold that come in with the hangar gates open. They also contain personal oxygen supplies so they can breathe in this thin atmosphere.
Do you think I might be able to go out there?
I'm afraid that would be extraordinarily dangerous. Besides, we don't keep any suits in your size.
Oh. Well, where are all the planes then?
We don't keep an extensive fleet here at the Skybase. Our primary aims are research and reconnaissance, so we rotate small squadrons in and out. See? There's one of our Arkfeld scouts taxiing in right now.
Julian froze. Steeped in thrill as he was, he had forgotten something. Something that came back to him upon spying the emblem on the scout plane's tail and the blood on its nose.
Oh, God.
Julian? Julian, what's the matter?
Let me out of here. Let me out of here right now!
Julian, please. Julian, it's all right.
You said I wasn't a prisoner. You said!
You aren't. I wouldn't have shown you all this if you were. Please, I need you to be calm.
No! No! No!
Airman, hand to be your net launcher.
To ensnare the fleeing boy, Findlay used a special weapon. It launched a weighted net that wrapped around Julian's body and brought him to the floor. Then, a cord attached to the back of the net pulled tight as the weapon's reels dragged Julian back to his captors.
We got him.
Damn you, Findlay.
Sir?
Hello again, Julian. Have a seat.
As though I have a choice.
Just sit. I've been informed of what happened.
I'm sure you have.
I've also been informed that you suffered great distress.
Sir, it seems that Julian recognized the Arkfeld, and it disturbed him greatly.
Yes, well, that certainly makes sense now, doesn't it?
Look, I don't know who you think I am, but...
Then why don't you clear that up for us?
An airman spots what he describes as a child-sized figure at 10,000 meters in climbing. Pilots are sent to investigate this figure and find an unconscious child strapped into an autonomous flying device perfectly fitted to a skinny adolescent frame.
Skinny?
Some hours later, a second airman returns from recon telling of a similar encounter. A small figure in a, quote, propeller beanie, unquote, hovering over the Moorland Mountains. Assuming it was some kind of decoy, he attempted to shoot it down, but he was forced to retreat after experiencing numerous bird strikes. Strange story, and I'm sure you can see a good many of its details are missing. Who that child is, what that contraption is, whose orders that child was following.
Sir, I don't believe that this young man came here on orders from anyone.
Findlay, please.
No, he's right. I'd say that I came here on my own, but I didn't even mean to come here. I rose to this altitude after my thrust lever malfunctioned, and I was unable to descend. I had no knowledge of this place, and certainly none of its feasibility.
I am inclined to believe him, sir. What we have here is a genius of a child who is capable of amazing things. I believe that he designed and constructed that flying machine himself, and came to us by sheer accident. But then again, there's always the chance that this was a guided stroke, and one that we mustn't ignore.
What?
What?
Julian, today you bore witness to things that lit you up inside. I could see it. Well, I think that Venicle's Air Force has a lot to offer a boy like you. Be honest. How far do you think those simple mainspring miners can take you?
Who said I was from Mainspring?
Come now, Julian, we're far past that.
I can't just...
Sir, please, don't you agree that a young man like this, properly educated, would be a terrific asset to us?
Possibly, if we can confirm that your theory is the truth. But that's up to Julian here.
What do you say, Julian?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, there's still so much more to show you. Perhaps I can still convince you.
I think he's seen enough for one day, Findlay. You'd do better to take him back to his room.
Not at the infirmary, sir. He seems well and recovered.
I do?
True enough. He can stay in the guest room then, until we can arrange better accommodations.
The guest room, sir?
Yes. You have any objections to that?
No, of course not, sir.
Very well then. Allow us to show you to your new abode, Mr. Shear.
Chief Master Sergeant McCallum's office was in a module constructed to suit the needs of a base commander, and one of those needs was to house special visitors. The guest room was a short walk from McCallum's office. It was grand, well decorated, and heavily wired.
Here you are, Julian. I'm sure that this will be far more pleasant than that antiseptic infirmary room.
Are you really going to teach me about the technology here? Even after everything I did?
Oh, for a boy of your intellect, Julian, it would be a crime not to. But you have to behave, do you understand? You must behave for us. Now that means no more messing about with the devices here. You must respect our property and our rules. In return, we can offer you much.
But what about my home? What about my...
We can make arrangements about that. I can't say anything for certain yet, though, okay? Right now, we just need you to stay here.
Okay.
There's a good lad.
We won't be far away.
Oh, this is exciting, sir. A possible new age for Vinicle. I don't think we've seen a mind of this caliber since General Goethals himself.
What the hell are you doing?
Sorry, sir?
You had no call to take that boy from the infirmary.
Sir, I'm sorry, but I don't understand.
He's given us nothing. What is wrong with you?
Sir, with all due respect, he's just a child. A civilian with an incredible talent. I think he may have come to us for a reason.
Oh, it's this, then.
Is it not my duty to guard civilians? To ensure the welfare of children?
Override code Exemplis 8038716.
Sir,
I'm aware of your directives, Findlay, but this is an extraordinary situation where they just don't fit. The boy could be valuable, and you must guard him, but mark this. Julian Shear is to be classed at the highest level as a prisoner of war. That's higher than civilian, higher than child. You are to monitor him at all times, and any travel must meet my approval. Do you understand me?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Override code Fotheringay 3316652.
Good day, sir.
Well, go guard the boy, Findlay.
Yes at once, sir.
Oh, you're back.
Yes. After some consideration, it was decided that it'd be best that I keep you company.
A remote signal sent by the Chief Master Sergeant sent shutters and bars falling along every point of entry to the room. There was no way in or out anymore. Julian was, indeed, a guest.
I see.
So Julian passed the remainder of the day in his comfortable cell, poking at the bookshelves and staring through the bars of the fireplace. Having retreated into thoughts and mistrust, he did not speak to Findlay, and Findlay spoke not to him. In fact, the deputy commander made no movements at all. For hours, he simply sat on a nearby ottoman and watched the boy like a buzzard. Only when sleep summoned did Julian finally break the silence.
I think I'll go to sleep now.
Understood, Julian.
The guest room bed was far more comfortable than the infirmary cot. Julian even conceded that it was more comfortable than his bed at home. His home, which was now so far away, as though in another world. The notion was paralyzing. A mere day had upended his life and all that he'd known about it. Now he wondered if he'd ever see his mother, his town, and even old Mr. Snebble again.
Oh, God!
Julian, it's all right. You had a nightmare.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
It's all right, son. It's all right. Do you remember what it was about?
No, I don't.
Well, it's over now. You're safe.
Have you been awake this whole time?
Yes.
Have you been in here this whole time?
Yes.
Did you even use the water closet?
No.
You're very dedicated.
That's why I'm here.
You're not human, are you?
I was designed to resemble a human.
Julian's jaw fell, slowly, as the full weight of Venicle's ingenuity fell upon him.
Remarkable.
The next morning, Findlay received permission to show Julian more of the base, provided the boy was attended and checked at all times. They began at the base chapel.
Every morning at this hour, all personnel gather to recite Venicle's anthem and renew their loyalty to the homeland.
All personnel but the Chief Master Sergeant, I see.
His loyalty is unquestioned.
Who is that woman?
That statue is Queen Vakya, who many years ago touched the rock that fell from the sky and received the gift of celestial knowledge.
Is that history or legend?
What do you think?
Aren't you going to eat, Findlay? Or maybe that's a stupid question.
Not at all. Your asking is a great compliment to my creators. But the answer is no. There are stations throughout the base where I can charge my battery as needed.
So you don't eat? Not at all? Not even at social functions?
No. Perhaps for the purposes of subterfuge, I may be equipped with a removable stomach. I might suggest activity at LDR.
Well, that's too bad. You're missing out on more of these delightful processed carrots.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant?
First Lieutenant Nogiri, sir. Forgive me, but I was hoping I could talk with you for a moment. Both of you.
What's your concern?
Young man, I have reason to believe that you and I have met before.
At first, Julian had no idea what the lieutenant was talking about. But then...
It was you. You're the pilot.
Yes, sir. That was me.
You tried to kill me.
That's why I came over. See, I saw this thing out there, coming out of Moorland, coming towards us, and I didn't know what to make of it.
So you just shot at me?
I didn't know if you were a trap, a bomb, or if... I don't know. Maybe you were like the deputy commander here. No offense, sir. My apologies.
None taken. Could you wrap this up, Lieutenant?
Sir, yes, sir. Anyway, young man, I just want to say that if I'd known I was dealing with a real, live child, I never would have done what I did. That is not what the Venical Air Force stands for. I just want to apologize on behalf of us all. Well, that's all I had.
Very well, Lieutenant. You're excused.
Thank you, sir.
It's not becoming to hold grudges.
Would you have forgiven him? I hate him.
Hatred or not, what that man gave to you just now should have been returned. Now he may never give it to you again. I think that this module will assist you greatly. Logan Daring Research, or LDR for short, is where we research and develop new technologies, which better reinforce and arm our military. In fact, what they're working on now should be very exciting to you.
I don't think we're clear to go in.
Sergeant, what's the meaning of this?
Sir, my apologies, but the Chief Master Sergeant wants to speak with you. I've been sent to bring you both to his office at once.
Both of us?
Sir, is everything all right? What can we do for you?
You know, Findlay, I'm beginning to think you were right. I think this boy really did come to us for a reason.
So, you agree that he should stay with us?
No, not exactly. Listen, there's something I want you to hear. Well, actually, it's something that was stipulated for you to hear, but it's probably for the best either way.
McCallum drew a small cylindrical item from his pocket and inserted it into a socketed machine on his desk. Then he pressed a button, and the machine produced a voice, one that was painfully familiar.
My name is Reginald Algus Roeder. I am the former Chief of Engineers for the soon-to-be subjugated nation of Moorland.
Father.
As of 12 o'clock this morning, I entered my service and swore allegiance to the great kingdom of Venical. This was done as payment for the safety of my son. My son, Julian Bedford Roeder, has been the guest of Venical for the past 14 days. I was promised he would remain unharmed if I renounced the Ministry of Moorland and began service immediately as Deputy Chief Engineer for Venical, in perpetuity. I have entered into this agreement with sound mind. The great kingdom of Venical has graciously allowed me to offer my son a message, and it is as follows. Julian, be safe. Your mother and I love you, and we miss you. They haven't promised me when or if I'll be able to see you again, but they at least told me they would not hurt you, and I rest comfortably with that. I'll be praying that we can arrange a meeting at some point, but you must behave, you must be safe. Do not cause trouble, do not do anything stupid, I beg.
I'm afraid he'd gone over time.
What's going to happen to it?
Nothing. He works for us now.
At gunpoint?
Julian, stay calm.
It's all right, Findlay, it's all right.
Why are you doing this to my family?
Please, I have no interest in your family. See, I initially thought you were a homegrown operation, the son of some turncoat here at the base. I just never imagined that someone from Moreland could manage what you'd accomplished. Then I realized that there was one who could. The man responsible for developing their air force and hampering our progress.
My father.
Your father. We knew only a little about him. We certainly didn't know that he had a son. Not until yesterday, when the intel I requested on him arrived. That's when I realized what a precious little bargaining chip I had on my hands. Things moved quickly after that. Findlay?
Yes, sir?
Prepare a guest list for a feast at Mainspring. I think we deserve a royal welcoming when we march in there. A real red carpet event.
You will never take Mainspring.
Young man, you have so much to learn. Don't you understand? We won't have to take Mainspring. Your Prime Minister is going to give it to us. Along with a few other cities, I'll wager.
So, you never had any intention of letting me go, did you?
That is not for me to intend anymore. Tomorrow evening, you are to be transferred to the Androct prison facility in Crotalus. After that, your fate depends on how cooperative the Ministry is.
Findlay, you're just gonna let him do this?
He is my superior, and you are a prisoner.
Yes, and prisoners get traded all the time. Trade is how groups of people make peace with one another. I assure you, Julian, that I take no pleasure in disrupting your life. I smile now because I have the chance to do a great service to my king and country, just as the last 4 generations of McCallums have done. I admit, we don't have the talents of you and your kin, but we do have our honor. Sometimes, that's all a soldier has. You may take him away now, Findlay.
At once, sir.
You're going to hang for this, you know.
That may be so.
Some honor. Trading children for cities. How can any of you live with yourselves?
It is a solution to a problem. It will prevent unnecessary killing.
You rationalize, Findlay.
I speak plainly.
Even you must know that what you're doing is wrong. What Venical is doing is wrong.
Wrong to whom?
To humanity. To decent people.
Decent people honor their leaders. They do their duty.
At any cost?
A child cannot understand this argument. Your philosophy was taught to you by fairy tales.
Well, I'm certainly getting a crash course now, aren't I?
I'll not have you deride my nation or its ethics.
Why? What will you do? Kill me? Torture me? Hang my body from the walls of this base?
No, I do not harm children.
You don't consider this harm?
You are prisoner first.
You didn't seem all right with that before. What happened?
I was ordered to classify you as a prisoner of war, above all other definitions.
And how do you define a prisoner of war?
A member of enemy forces captured by our forces during war.
Findlay, you know I'm not a soldier.
Even civilians who take up arms may be considered the enemy. Your flying machine could be construed as such.
But Findlay, I'm not even a member of the enemy.
Don't be silly. Of course you are. You're a citizen of Moreland.
Am I? Now that my father is defected?
I don't know. I don't...
My father has assumed a position in your military, effective since this morning.
I realize that.
That means you are holding the son of Venacle's deputy chief engineer to compel him to serve you.
That may be true, but...
Findlay, you told me earlier that my conduct with that pilot was unbecoming. What do you think yours is?
I'm having a conflict.
Then you have to ask yourself what's more important. The honor of your country or the record of your commander?
The Chief Master Sergeant is involved in coercion, and I am complicit.
You can still correct this, Findlay.
But there is so little time. You are to be transferred to Androps tomorrow night. We have to get you out of here.
Is there a spare craft? Something we could get away in?
If I took a plane without authorization, we'd both just get shot down. We'd need something else.
Well, what about my beanie? Do you guys still have it?
Yes, of course. It's being kept at LDR, but do you really want to try that? You'll be exposed to the elements.
I think it's worth the risk, so long as the thrust lever's been repaired.
On last report, the device was working properly.
When can we go?
Tomorrow morning, when the personnel are at chapel. LDR will be locked but unmanned. I should be able to get you in without any trouble.
Get me in? What about you?
I won't be able to accompany you. I'll have to keep the skyway sealed and hold off anyone who comes by. Don't worry, though. I'll provide you with the codes you'll need to get to your Propeller-Head.
My what?
It's a nickname I came up with for your flying machine. I suppose it's not terribly creative, is it?
I think it's terrific.
We will need to prepare. When the Chief Master Sergeant is occupied, I'll get a nap and some rations, along with some padding to keep under your clothes for warmth. I might even be able to find some goggles that fit you.
I'm actually kind of excited about this.
And so the scheme was hatched. Findlay found an airman to relieve him, but he collected the supplies he promised under the pretense of charging his battery.
Oh, sir. Pardon me, I didn't expect to find you here.
What did you need, Airman?
Sir, just collecting MREs for the inspection detail at Talbot tomorrow. It's a ways off from this, sir.
Well, go right ahead.
Sir, if you don't mind my asking, why are you taking MREs? It's my understanding that...
Well, if you must know, research is developing a removable stomach for me to improve my social verisimilitude. These rations are for testing purposes.
Oh, so that's very impressive, sir.
Indeed it is. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, if you wish, I can show you where we store the toilet paper, sir.
You know what, Airman? That's not a bad idea.
This is it.
This is it.
Oh, where'd you get the net launcher? And the sidearm?
From a curious airman who's now sleeping in some toilet paper.
I won't ask.
Out they sneaked, through halls and lobbies so empty they were ghost-like. Soon they came to the skyway that connected the mess hall module with LDR, and Findlay put up a hand and paused.
Looks clear. I'll let you in, and then close the emergency shutter to delay any visitors. You'll use codes to pass through the lobby, into the circular hall, and then into Environmental Chamber 2. Your Propeller-Head will be in locker 2131. You'll need a code for that too. It's all written here.
Understood.
Go on now.
Okay, code 1, lobby to circular hall.
You can do this, Julian.
Biohazard containment, explosives testing, high energy physics. Oh, okay, here we are. Environmental chambers. Oh, my God.
Evan Harvey, Staff Sergeant, 3rd Security Squadron. Identify yourself immediately.
This is Deputy Commander Findlay. There's a minor issue with the Skyway thruster.
Sir, yes, sir. Are you in trouble, sir? Shall I call for maintenance?
No, that won't be necessary. I have only closed the shutter to investigate the matter. It should be cleared up momentarily. Return to your duties, Sergeant.
Sir, yes, sir.
Hurry up, Julian.
I can't believe this.
Lights flickered on as Julian entered the chamber. The walls were cold and white. There were desks and consoles, screens and keypads, stacks of notes and pinned-up diagrams. Dividing the room was an observation window, and beyond that, a line of familiar-looking devices hanging on hooks. They had helmets, fuel tanks, handheld control panels, and folded propellers on their backs.
They reverse engineered it. Oh, okay. Well, I gotta get the storage. Locker 2131. There you are.
There it was. Helmet, fuel tank, propeller, and thrust lever, all packed neatly into the metal locker before him. Boy and machine were reunited.
Good to see you again, old friend. All we have to do now is get you to the hangar, and we should be good as gold. Oh dear.
Attention all personnel, this is not a drill. Enemy aircraft are approaching the base. Repeat, enemy aircraft are approaching the base. All personnel proceed to your designated battle stations immediately. Pilots prepare for immediate launch. Security team secure all critical areas. Command staff report to the command center. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
The sky turned to buzz with the low drone of fighter planes. At the first sound of the base alarm, McCallum made for the base's command center.
What is this? Is it Moorland?
Yes, sir. OS-89 is approaching fast.
But how could they have found us? None of our planes have gone low enough to spot exit.
Sir.
Activate all defense systems. Prepare CIWS for immediate engagement.
Yes, sir.
Scramble all interceptors and assign additional guard store access points. And where the hell is Findlay? Find him and get him in here.
Julian! Julian! Oh, you wayward boy. What on earth took you so long?
I brought you something.
This is hardly time for gifts, Julian. What are you doing?
Julian was carrying a large silver case in his arms. He placed it on the ground and pulled it open. Inside was one of the reverse-engineered propeller suits from the lab.
What is that for?
You don't seem too surprised about this.
Of course not. We've been working on replicating your machine since the day we found you. Now, why did you bring that?
Because you're coming with me.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
I don't want to think about what will happen to you if you stay here. We're getting out together. And you may just need this if we're going to make it out to the hangar alive.
All right, fine.
Oh boy.
Sir, the Chief Master Sergeant has ordered that you be brought to the command center at once.
Yes, Sergeant. I was just heading here this very moment.
Sir, are you planning on using that propeller suit?
I thought it might be as an aid, yes.
With a net launcher, sir?
Are you quite through, Sergeant?
Oh, sir, yes, of course, sir. Wait, isn't that the boy from...
I'm afraid that's one question too many.
Holy...
Findlay struck like a snake. Using the butt of the net launcher, he cracked Sergeant Harvey's jaw with such speed that Julian barely realized what had happened. The sergeant dropped to the floor, unconscious, with an easy grace.
I'm sorry. Let's go. We'll go through Drake to get to the hangar. It's the only place we can depressurize and depart in this situation. All other exits will be sealed off.
Oh God! Quickly!
Some yards ahead of them, a missile crashed through a skyway and tore it wide open. The air in the base immediately rushed out, pushing Fidley and Julian toward the gap.
Quick, Julian, start your propeller.
Fidley, we're going out!
Right yourself, damn it! Right yourself!
Look out! Whoa! Okay. Okay! I'm stabilizing.
Julian!
Finley, your propeller works.
Glad to see yours does too. This is it. You can descend now. You're free!
What about you?
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
Back away!
A fighter plane, reeling from a missile strike, swept past Findley and swatted him with its wing. It sent him sailing to the end of a broken skyway they had just fallen from.
Fidley, are you all right?
My propeller's destroyed. I'm hanging on to a bit of rebar.
We're right at the door to the Drake module. You've got to follow me in. The shuttle is going down.
I can't reach.
Don't give up. I'm going inside. Okay, now fire to that vulture in here.
All right. I got this. I didn't hit anything.
It's all right. I'm gonna take the cord and I'm gonna rev a support beam here. Okay, now just rear yourself in and I'll grab you. Come on. Almost there.
Thank you.
So, which way to the hangar now?
I fear that we won't be able to get to the hangar now. The Drake module has been damaged. In such an event, the module will seal itself shut and separate from any connected structures.
What? Why?
This is where electrolysis is done. Tanks upon tanks of oxygen and hydrogen are stored here. We're essentially a flying bomb that must be removed from the base to avoid casualties.
Isn't there a way to override that?
Yes. I can apply a manual override, and if we can safely attach the module to another structure, the automatic seal will disengage. Yes. Quickly, this way.
They hurried to the bridge of the Drake module, where imposing consoles and flight controls stood waiting.
Okay, Julian, you're going to have to manage the thrusters. I need to launch the flares to draw off any incoming smoke.
Fidley, there are 6 thrust levers here. How on earth do I work this?
Port, starboard, fore, aft, dorsal, ventral. I'll tell you which one's the fire and at what level so we can line up with the hangar.
But Finley...
You can do this, Julian. Just don't crash or we might blow up. Here we go. I need to ward these off. All right, Julian, S50. Whoa. Julian, I said starboard at 50. Pull it back.
Sorry.
Careful, these controls are very delicate. Now, A25, S20.
On it.
Sir, the Drake module is moving.
I know. Straight into the ground, as it should.
No, sir. It's moving laterally.
What? Someone's overwritten it.
Shall I order it shut down, sir?
You insane? If it blows, it will take us all out. Wherever it's going, we've got to cut it off. Watch its trajectory and send the nearest module to intercept it.
Sir, we've checked the guest room. Both the deputy commander and the boy are gone.
Is that right?
Is that the hangar there? With the ramps?
That it is, Julian. S10D5.
Findley, it looks like another module is making for the same access port.
Good Lord, the Gehring module is moving for the hangar too. Pull away, Julian. P100.
Like hell, this is our spot.
Julian, no!
Not today, you hogs.
Julian, these aren't bumper cars. Pull away.
We have far more mass than they do, Fiddly. I'm shoving them.
Julian pressed the advantage of the Drake module's sheer size. The Gehring module was forced aside, and it even began to overturn.
I ain't like that.
God damn it, Julian.
Fine.
You're going to kill us both. Let me handle this.
Findlay took over. With his careful guidance, the Drake module was positioned to dock with the Skyway, leading into the hangar module safely.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
God, nothing. That was all us.
Whatever. Come on. Gehring is already correcting. We don't want to be here when it collides.
It's so empty.
All the craft are out dealing with attackers.
Why is Marlin attacking anyway? Don't they know that I'm here?
Of course they wouldn't attack here if they knew you were here. We only told them we had to, not where. Oh, quickly now. We have to lower one of the ramps so we can get you out safely.
Get us both out safely.
Yes, of course. Okay. We need to stand on either side of the gate and pull the levers simultaneously. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay, this is it.
You are coming with me, right?
I never promised that.
Oh, come on!
I'm sorry, Julian, but I still have my obligation to Vertical.
To hell with obligations. This is about what's right, Findlay.
Julian, you're very young, but you need to understand that what's right isn't always what's best. I can't very well teach you that now, but...
Attention. Override code Exemplis 8038716.
Yeah,
Oh, it's him. He found us.
Findlay. Retrieve Julian Rota immediately. Dead or alive.
Findlay? What's the matter?
Override code Fotheringay 3316652. Do it. Do it now, Findlay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Findlay! Findlay, it's me! It's me!
I'm sorry, Julian.
Oh, for God's sake, how long does this ramp take to lower?
Choose acceptance, Julian.
Findlay, you can't listen to him! It's me! It's your Propeller-Head!
Propeller-Head. Propeller-Head is a child. The child of the Deputy Chief Engineer.
Please, Findlay. Please.
Julian, forgive me. I'm having a conflict, but I cannot maintain it. There is no logical resolution.
What are you talking about, Findlay?
Findlay gave Julian a warm smile, then pointed his sight on behind his right ear.
Get back to your parents, Julian. You're a good kid.
No! No!
Oh, God damn it.
And McCallum was there, on the hangar, suited to brave the harsh cold of the sky.
I don't know what you said to him, but whatever it was, you ruined him. He's dead because of you. You do understand that, right?
You stay back!
Hangar Gate 5 has been manually opened. Please proceed to take off immediately.
Looks like this is where I make my departure.
You're not leaving here!
As Julian made to fly out of the hangar ramp, something caught him and held him back. He looked up and saw that his propeller was entangled in a net that McCallum fired from Findlay's launcher. Now, Julian was dangling over the edge of the hangar ramp, all the heavens beneath his feet, and hell over his head.
You did this! You brought Nogiri down. You led Moreland track up to us. You messed with Findlay's logic. You brought him to his end. Your trail of ruin ends here, Julian. I'm not losing everything to a child!
Julian reached up and opened the hooded switch at the top of his helmet.
You can't lose something you never had, McCallum.
Down, down he went, without worry, without fear, without concern. He stared upwards at McCallum's shocked face, at the smoke of the burning fighter planes, at the splintered bones of the sky base, and he smiled. He reached down and pulled at the ripcord that fluttered at his chest, and deployed the parachute that Findlay had prepared for him. What, you didn't think he'd try to escape like this without one, did you? After the Gürtel's base fell, things began to change. Veneclo's forces fell to the back foot as strange events took place, not the least of which were the rescue of Julian Roter and the capture of Morris McCallum. Very swiftly, a domestic tribunal was arranged to bring McCallum to justice for his crimes, and, rather fittingly, it was held in the courthouse of Nainspring. Julian himself was called to testify against McCallum, and by a friendly face who just happened to have a law degree.
Julian, can you tell us about the day you first encountered Mr. McCallum?
I had awakened after losing consciousness from altitude sickness. He and the deputy commander were sitting in front of me.
You mean this man, Mr. Morris McCallum, sitting right here?
Yes.
Let the record show that the witness identified the defendant. Now, was Mr. McCallum forthright about your situation?
He was not. I had no idea where I was, or in whose custody I was being kept.
And what happened when you found out you were in the clutches of Venacle?
I was incarcerated by the deputy commander. I was placed in a room that I could only exit with explicit permission from Mr. McCallum.
You were a prisoner then? A 12-year-old prisoner?
Yes.
And how did you manage to escape? Yes, how then?
I was lucky. The deputy commander had been planning a mutiny against Mr. McCallum for months. He saw my arrival as the perfect opportunity to enact it.
You're sure about all that?
Yes. Yes, I am. The deputy commander took pity on me and helped me. He brought me my propeller beanie, took me to the hangar, and allowed me to escape. He shot himself to avoid persecution.
I see. Thank you, Julian. You've been very brave to share this with us. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Julian, may I ask why you said that about Findlay?
What's that?
Why you changed your testimony about him. You told us that you convinced Findlay to help you, not the other way around.
Oh, it's hard to say. McCallum just looked so beaten. He's lost everything, and he probably won't be with us much longer. I just saw no need to put on record that it's all because a kid outsmarted him. Why humiliate him on top of everything?
That was very mature of you.
You think so?
I do.
I'm sorry I called you ignorant, Mom. I'm so sorry. You know far more than I do.
You don't need to keep apologizing. I already accepted the first time. Besides, there's a lot we need to prepare for. Right, Reg?
You're right, Sarah. The ministry has established a community for military families on the base at Osterland. It's a long way from Mainspring, but it's very secure. We'll all be able to see each other. And Julian, you'll be able to study with the airmen.
Really?
Really? I just hope that's okay with you both. I know you'll miss Mainspring, but this should be much safer. The war's not over yet, after all.
I think it sounds marvelous. What do you think, Julian?
Well, I guess I will miss the old house. Yeah, that even older Mr. Snebble. I have to say, marvelous is the word.
Fried Rice was written, edited, and performed by LisVender. Music was generated by Suno. Voices were generated by ElevenLabs. Sarah Roter was played by ML Vera Farmiga. Julian Roter by ML Stephen Shea. Mr. Snibble by ML Phil Leeds. Morris McCallum by ML Tom Hiddleston. Findley by ML Fritz Weaver. Reginald Roter by ML Hal Hallbrook. Other voices by ML Alice, Chris, Dave, Michael, Brian, Charlotte, and Dorothy. And your host by ML Malcolm McDowell. Thank you so much for listening. Talk again soon.